everyone, Melissa Crook here, designer for Bello's Designs. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how I have made this card that I'm calling Dear Dad. I have made this for inspiration for my father for Father's Day. It is featuring the new Maple Leaf Aperture by Sweet Poppy Stencils and some stamps from Lavinia Stamps. Okay, so I'll show you the supplies that I've used to create this card. First of all, this is going on a 6x6 card base, and I'm using the craft papers by Consortium in Grunge light tones. I am using one that has some orange tone. It's yellow on the back and some orange grunge. I hope you can see that. So I have cut this paper down to 5.5 to 5.5 so it will fit on my card. My card says it's 6x6. It's actually 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So I've had to trim it down just a little bit. So for the stamps, we're going to use Lavinia stamps. We have Reindeer Large LAV 481, Birch Tree LAV 649, and Mini Leaf LAV 305. We're going to be using the Sweet Poppy Stencil Maple Leaf, and I have just a magnetic sheet. I have also cut out a mask, and I just drew around it with my pencil and then cut it out. And I've taken the positive away, and so I'm left with the negative. That way I can stamp over the paper and not have to stamp over the metal stencil. I just find that easier to do. So you will also need the inks that we're going to be using are Elements in Lime Punch and in Pine, VersaFine Clairs in Shady Lane and in Nocturne. You'll need your stamping platform or some acrylic blocks, and I'm going to be using both. For the edge, I'm using a technique that I learned by Joe Rice with a Sharpie and a ruler. For the grounding and the moon, we will need some blending brushes, and I'm using a Wink of Stella brush. This is Wink of Stella 2, just to go around the very edge of the leaf stencil. Just gives it a little bit of a pop. Plus, I just like everything to sparkle. So, okay, let's get started. Okay, first thing, we're going to put our piece of paper. I'm going to do it this direction. We're going to line up our stencil. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention, you'll also need a stencil brush for your stenciling. So I'm going to start with a lime punch, ink up my brush, dab off just a bit, and then just lightly go around the stencil. And I just go in with the lime punch first, just so you get kind of a molded effect color. And then we're going to go in with Pine and go right over that. Get that blended in. And I go a little heavier when I'm doing the pine, just around the edge. And I'm not bringing that in to the center of the leaf too much. Just right around the edge. Okay, pretty simple. I will pull that off, and there you have it. So line that up. Okay, and then in the VersaFine Clair Nocturne, we're going to ink up our reindeer. And I have him to where he will just come off of the card just slightly. Just his antlers are coming off just a little bit. So we ink that up in Nocturne. And I have my baby wipe still, so I'm just going to clean that just right there. Okay, and then just push that down, give it a good press. And then we're going to do our tree here the same way. And because I've used this before, I can kind of see where I've had it. And I'm just lining up so the branches are not right in front of its face, but I want him to have something that he's looking at. Like it's going to get a bite. Some nice leaves. Put that there. And I'm going to not use the Nocturne again, ink that up. I really want to make sure it gets all those fine little lines through the mask, which I think that it just did fine. So we'll remove that. Yeah, now you can see all of the branches are within the shape of the leaf. Okay, and then now with our Shady Lane, and I have my miniature leaf stamp. We're going to do some first and second generations. And I just line up the branch of the tree with the branch of the leaves. Just get that filled in until you're happy with that. And now we're going to create a little bit of a moon, 1.25 inches approximately. And I am just going to use a brush that I have some orange oxides on. And I'm not going to ink up in any particular color. It's just going to be a little orange. Most likely it's ripe persimmon, in case you need to know that. That just adds just a little tiny bit of color. Now we're going to go in with our Wink of Stella brush, and this is a glitter brush that works like a water pen. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a very light shimmer. You push on it and it squirts it out. But just sometimes it's easier just to squirt just a tiny bit and get it moving and soak it back up into your brush instead of trying to push and push and push. Wastes a little bit, but it's safer that way. So I'm just going to go really lightly around the moon. And I'm just doing it freehand. And then right around the edge of the leaf, all the way around. And I'm going to just take this paper and give it a good rip. And I'm going to do some grounding. I'm going to give this a quick dry with my heat tool. Okay, and we're just going to give some grounding lines. So this is just a tiny little brush that I have, and I'm just going to get a little ink from the Nocturne on there and just bluff that out. And I'm doing this very gently. And I'm doing it down instead of up, so I can make sure that I can see and that I'm staying inside that line. I'll just create a few all the way across the bottom of the leaf, starting on the paper and just slowly coming down. And I'll do some over here too. Okay, and now we're going to do an edge border around the entire length of the card. So I'm just going to put my ruler down all the way up against the edge of my card, barely leaving any, and marker tip down straight across. And there you get an instant border without having to cut out any paper. And now we're going to affix our card to our base. And I'm going to be using the iCraft Ultra Bond Adhesive glue. It has a very fine tip point. And lid will seal it. There you have it. Nice little scene inside of a leaf. And here is the first one, the original one. Pretty close, little difference because that's just the way it always works, at least for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed that quick little card that would be good for Father's Day or just anything. But my idea is for Father's Day. It's on the masculine side a bit, and my father loves deer wilderness, so I hope he likes it. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you give it a go, and if you'd like to share it on our Facebook groups, that would be great. We have two. We have Bello's Designs Lounge, where we showcase Lavinia products, and we have Bello's Designs a la carte lounge, where we showcase other products that Patty supplies in her shop. Such as Sweet Poppy Stencils, Nellie's Choice, Cardio, That's Crafty, and so many more. So please check us out there. And as always, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.